Alright guys, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. And yeah, welcome to not a beer review this time. I think this is actually the first time I've reviewed a beverage that isn't beer. But yeah, I was initially going to be doing this. I mean, by the time you're watching this video, the live review will already be up that I will be doing with Dean from Dean's Beer Reviews, in which we'll be comparing this, which is, I might as well introduce it, Jack Daniel's Tennessee Cider, to Tony Howard, his homebrew version. But we were supposed to be doing it the night I'm recording this video, but with it coming up to Christmas and schedules a little bit hectic and stuff like that, I think we're going to postpone it for a little bit. But I thought I might as well get a review of it done. Gets me, because I've not had cider for a hell of a long time. It's not really one of the beverages of choice, to be honest. I had so many bad experiences with cider. I think you've probably can see through my videos that my teeth aren't exactly in the greatest condition. But because I used to drink this a lot when I was a teenager, as most teenagers do. I always remember going to a club in Wigan called Cafe Nirvana, which it's like this proper emo place now. But it's like probably the best indie place you could go to in Wigan, and one of the best places to go to in Wigan, because let's face it, a night out in Wigan isn't exactly earth-shattering, is it? I always used to go because my friends were going, but I fucking hate Wigan on a night out. Just the dickheads that are out and about. And I know it's not a unique thing, but Wigan on a night out has its own unique flavour. And it just, I don't know, it just has a really weird feel to it, if that makes sense. And one of the drinks that I always used to have when, this is only going about, actually nearly 10 years ago now, which is crazy to me. It's when you could get a bottle of Stella Artois in a club for £1. I mean, that was one of my drinks of choice. But yeah, we used to have shit like vodka Red Bull, which is, why would you ever drink that ever? And I used to have, we used to call it a snake bite, but I don't think it's actually called a snake bite, where it was Strongbow with a beer and then like blackcurrant cordial, something like that. I could have completely misremembered that, but we knew that as a snake bite. And I remember there'd be nights where I'd have it because it was cheap. It got you pissed really quickly. But the next day, for the next couple of days, my teeth were in absolute agony. Just the slightest touch and it would like knock me sick because of like the pain and sensitivity. So yeah, that's why when I became a little bit more conscientious with my drinking decisions, that's why I've never really touched cider. But I want to branch out the channel a little bit, do a few spirits, do some beers, cocktails, that sort of thing, comparisons, all, not just bottles of beer after bottles of beer after bottles of beer after bottles of beer. I want to change it up a bit. And my good friend Dean, who I will be doing a live review of this, comparing it, well, not really comparing it to, just seeing what similarities we get with Tony Howard's version. That will already be up, but I thought I'd just get a little bit of a sort of a sneak peek, prepare myself. And who knows, I might do the odd cider on the channel, but my good friend Dean tried this and he really enjoyed it, as did Harry from Bluenose Beer Reviews. And they've been telling me for ages to give it a try, get yourself a bottle of it, and I've been wanting to try it because Jack Daniel's is one of the spirits that I like to drink, although I've not really drank it for quite a long time. Not really done spirits, aside from the odd gin and tonic, which is my go-to because I'm British, obviously. But yeah, gin and tonic, perfect drink to have after a mild session. Just clears you up a little bit, has that little bit of zing to it, and you looks, swag as fuck when you're drinking a gin and tonic. Not really. I don't have this sort of idea of, oh, look at me, I'm sophisticated drinking this beer. I'll drink whatever the fuck I want. If it gives me a buzz, so be it. But yeah, that was quite a long story. So I heard a lot of good things about this from people whose opinions I value highly, and saw individual bottles because you could only rarely in my local Tesco's anyway buy the 4-packs, and I was like, don't really want to commit to a 4-pack, but they were selling loose ones, so I thought I'd pick one up, and I know that I can get loose ones now for the live review, which you might have already seen. If I remember, I'll put that link down below. And also check out Dean from Dean's Beer Reviews, check out Harry from Bluenose Beer Reviews, and of course Tony Howard. But yeah, Jack Daniel's Tennessee Cider. Crisp apple cider blended with Jack Daniel's Tennessee whiskey. 330ml bottle, 5.5%. Classic Jack Daniel's artwork. Yeah, a refreshing blend of smooth sipping Jack Daniel's Tennessee whiskey and crisp apple cider. Best served chilled, which it is, and straight from the bottle, but you know, it's not fun to review beers in the bottle, so I'm going to be using a glass. But yeah, iconic look to it. I do like the branding and the whole presence of Jack Daniel's. I know it's not, you know, when you compare it to other bourbons and actual proper whiskies, you know, it pales in comparison to a lot of things, but it sort of has this identity, and I kind of like that. Especially that slutty rock chick sort of stuff. I'm joking. Don't turn it sexist, Peter. But yeah, looks good. Nice label on the neck, and there is the crown, keeping in with that look to it. So no idea what cider they've used, if this is a collaboration or not with anyone. It just says Jack Daniel's is a trademark, is registered trademark from Brown-Forman Beverages, Europe. So I think there is a Jack Daniel's cider in America, but I think it goes under a different name. So I'm not sure if this is going to be similar or completely different. I just don't know. And hopefully I can pull off a cider review, because what can you really say? Getting really ignorant right now when you've not really done this. Or you could really say, yeah, get the apples, get the Jack Daniel's. Well, that's all I really want, really. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, we'll see how this goes. So let's pour it into the glass and see what we get. Okay then, so beer in a glass then, and that is a lovely golden colour. A little bit lighter than I was expecting it to be. I mean, I wasn't expecting it to be cloudy, because it's not that sort of cider. But yeah, it's almost got that slight Jack Daniel's look to it as well, as if it's been diluted with water. No head whatsoever. I don't even know if ciders produce head. I'm going in really friggin' blind with this. So anybody who is a massive cider fan, like Hammerhead Beer Reviews, I know he loves his cider. Big shout out to him. If I remember all these people's names, the link's going to be down below. So yeah, it's a lovely looking drink so far. Let's see what we get on the aroma, when I'm not splashing it all over me jeans. Definitely get that Jack Daniel's straight away. That lovely, crisp, musky malt character. A little bit of a grassy, straw-like presence in there as well. There's like a very subtle apple-like sweetness. I mean, of course, from the Jack Daniel's you get that vanilla character. It's woody. It's crisp as anything. Very sharp as well on the nose. But I'm not really getting too much of a cider presence. It's not really appley or anything like that. It's very subtle. It's all about that Jack Daniel's. And it smells really, really nice. I do like the smell of Jack Daniel's. Anyway, let's give it a taste. Cheers. Ooh. It's really nice. First and foremost, the domineering aroma, like I said, was that Jack Daniel's, that bourbon character. But the apples come out a hell of a lot more. That cider character, from what I understand of cider, from my experiences, that comes out a lot more. And then there's almost like it's got that Jack Daniel's finish to it. Not overbearingly sweet, not overbearingly tart. It smells a lot harsher than it actually is on the flavour. It's a lot more rounded and blended really nicely, as opposed to like, oh god, do you know what I mean? Because you could either get that really tart, zingy apple character, or you could get that really, sometimes harsh whiskey character. But here, it's so crisp, it's refreshing. There's like this almost Emmental cheese flavour coming out of it though, which I've no idea what that could be attributed to. It's not in your face or anything, but it's got that slight cheesy dairy flavour. It's like in between that apple and then when the Jack Daniels comes through. It gets actually quite sweet on the finish. And it reminds me of like refresher bars. Yeah, it's surprisingly complex what it is. You'd go into this thinking, oh, I'm just going to get either Jack Daniels or like a cider with a bit of Jack Daniels flavour to it. But the flavour changes from the moment it's at the tip of your tongue all the way till the back, it's at the back of your throat going down. But it's so wonderfully blended. It's not dull. It's not too subtle. It does exactly what it says on the tin, but it sort of exceeds what you would expect. And as someone who's not a big fan of cider, I'd happily pick up a 4-pack of this and enjoy it. And at 5.5%, you know, if you like your cider, that's a dangerous, dangerous alcoholic beverage, I suppose. Excuse me. But even as a predominantly beer lover, I think this is lovely. It really, really is. It's a really nice change in direction. It's really nice and refreshing. It's crisp. It's clean. Perfect for a hot summer's day when you're having a barbecue. I suppose you could even use this as like part of a marinade or a glaze for like chicken wings or something. Or just enjoy it as a Jack Daniel's cider. Very impressed with this. It's the smoothness of it that I really, really like. The body's really light, but it's smooth at the same time. And the more I'm drinking it, that slight Emmental flavour is still there, but it's not intrusive and it somehow works. Yeah, I really, really enjoy that actually. That's a really, really nice cider by all accounts. And it's got just enough of that Jack Daniel's presence for it to be tasty and not too overbearing. So I don't think I did too bad with that cider review. But if I was to give it a rating, I would give that a very solid 8 out of 10. It's one I will definitely be picking up again, and I'm happy to actually pick up the 4-pack for when I do the live review. And I mean, I wouldn't session on something like this. I wouldn't session on a cider. But I'd happily have this in between beers, or just to have a casual drink, you know, with your tea. This would go perfect for like American diner sort of foods, like chicken wings and that sort of stuff. But yeah, really interesting. It delivers, because this could have either gone two ways. The Jack Daniels could have just been overbearing, or it could have just been so faint you didn't get any presence of it. But this, it's the blend. That's what I love about it. The blend is spot on for my tastes. So if you've tried the Jack Daniel's Tennessee cider, let me know your thoughts, opinions down below. What's some of your favourite ciders? Give me some recommendations. I mean, I know of all like the Scrumpy Jacks and the Strongbows and that sort of thing, but any sort of like craft ciders, or just ciders in general. What's your favourite cider? K-cider, yeah. I might start every now and then doing a cider review. But yeah, recommendations, thoughts, opinions, always welcomed. Are you a fan of Jack Daniels? What's your favourite blend of Jack Daniels? I saw, because we've just been to Costco, and they were doing a nice little gift set of one of the single barrel that they do, which comes in the nice blue and gold label. And they were doing it with 2 glasses, which was nice. But yeah, 8 out of 10. Check out Jack Daniels. Anybody else affiliated with this product, I will mention them in the description. I'd be interested if there's any other stuff released by these guys. And yeah, as I said, anybody who's done a review of this, who I'm friends with here on BeerTube, their links are down below. So, hope you enjoyed this cider review. Hope I did an okay job. Feel free to butcher me in the comments, as my good friend Jonathan would say. Another shout out, I suppose. And yeah, more importantly, I hope you'll join me next time for another beer review. Well, another cider review, or whatever I decide to review in the future, because, like I said, I'd like to go a little bit different. And I mean, I've had a full bottle of Justerini and Brooks for like 3 years, so I need to crack that open and do a review of that. Anyway, waffling on, really long video, clueless drinker, back on form, classic review, and more importantly, I'm sexy while I do it. What the fuck am I talking about? See you guys later.